Thank God you clocked me at 91. I was doing way faster than that. So AMG of Northeast hosted a poker run that he hosts every year. And we were driving down the New Jersey Turnpike in a very spirited manner. We're in a pack and we're just on the turnpike for lengths. Right? We're on there for like 25, 30 miles. And we're in and out of traffic. We're trying to get to the next destination. We're trying to get another card. We're, just spirited. We're in a black Ferrari, a silver Ferrari, a blue Maserati, a black i8, and I was in an orange Murcielago. And as we're flying down the highway, I'm thinking to myself, we're in and out of traffic. We are being reckless, to say the least. I'm in the orange car and everybody else is in a normal colored car. I look in the rearview mirror and sure as heck, there's a Tahoe with a police officer with a light bar all lit up coming after me. And I'm like, this sucks. So I start slowing down. And I go in the right lane, and I figure, if I'm going to get pulled over, at least I'm going to make it easier for him to pull me over. There's no need to run because I'm in an orange Lamborghini. Start slowing down, and he comes flying up, and I thought he was coming for me. So I had told my friend Leron at the time, over the walkie-talkie, I was like, keep going. He only wants me. He probably wants something to do with you, so just keep going. Don't speed off, but just casually drive off. He pulls around me to start going. The cop cuts him off, throws his arm out the window and tells him to pull over. So now we're both stopped on the side of the road. And he comes up and he's like, you guys are speeding, how fast you're going and all these things. And I really had no idea because I never got gunned. I never got a radar hit. I never got a laser hit, nothing. So I had no idea even what to tell him. I clocked you at 165 and I was like, what? That's absurd. Like, that's actually absurd. And so finding out later on that it was actually Frankie that was the one that got hit. Everybody else in the car had laser diffusers. Everybody else was better equipped that day than he was. And he never told anyone via walkie. They just sped off. I'm over on the side of the road. I'm trying to argue with the guy that, it wasn't me. He's like, well, it doesn't matter. It's my word against yours. And you're getting a ticket. And I was like, all right, I'll see you in court then because there's nothing I can do to fight you now. So I ended up getting 5 tickets. Leron ended up getting 6 tickets, all of which were reckless, careless, racing, whatever. I went to court. Thankfully, I had a Pennsylvania driver's license, so there was no reciprocity. They suspended my driving privileges in the state of New Jersey for about a week, and we timed it out. My lawyer did a great job, and we got out of it. But 5 tickets wasn't the most tickets I've ever gotten in a single stop. The most tickets I ever received at one time was when I was 24 years old. I was driving my Mark IV GTI 337. I had just put on a exhaust. I had downpipe, intake, chip, all the normal stage 3 or whatever the kids call it nowadays. And I just put on an exhaust, and the motto of the exhaust company was the quiet performer, right? So it wasn't meant to be super loud. It wasn't like a Borla exhaust or Tectonics or anything like that. It was another company. I was going to pick up my girlfriend from work at the time. I was at a red light. It turned green. I made a left, and I pegged it, first gear, second gear, third gear, flat out. Hit fourth, and I was doing probably something in the neighborhood of like 128 miles an hour. It was a 35 or 40 mile an hour road, and there was a lot of traffic because it was the beginning of rush hour. And in the traffic, as I was flying down, I saw a police officer, and I was like, oh, damn it. He instant on me. I was already on the brakes, and I didn't bother running. I just pulled over, right? As soon as the shoulder came up, I pulled over, grabbed all my information out. He came out of his car. He turned around. He followed me down, pulled over. He was pissed. Like, he was super pissed. I tried to do the best I could. Like, at that point, I realized I did something wrong. I pulled myself over. I'm trying to give you the least amount of friction possible. There was no guns, thank God. But he did pull me out of the car and he handcuffed me and threw me onto the hood of my car. Right? I had a carbon fiber hood because, it's early 2000s, really cool. And I'm laying face down on my hot black carbon fiber hood. It's the summertime. And this officer is just giving me all this just, what are you doing speeding? Blah, blah, blah. I clocked you at 91. I was like, thank God. Thank God you clocked me at 91. I was doing way faster than that. Backup rolls up and backup's like, I heard you coming down Hemline Road. Well, Hemline Road, it's like a Y-shaped road. So I came up Taunton, there's Hartford, and here's Hemline. I came up Taunton Road. I didn't get on it until I hit Hartford Road. And Hemline is this way. So I don't know how he heard me coming down Hemline Road or anything of the sort because I wasn't anywhere near Hemline Road. So I told him that. I was like, I wasn't on Hemline Road, so I don't understand how you heard me coming down Hemline Road. And he said, are you calling me a liar? And I said, well, if the shoe fits. I'm already handcuffed. Like, what more are you going to do to me? Are you going to arrest me? That's fine, right? So now I'm on the side of the road. I'm handcuffed. We're going to search your vehicle. Okay, go ahead. Search my vehicle. You're not going to find anything in there. We're going to find drugs in here? I'm like, the only way you would find drugs is if you planted them yourself. What are you trying to say? I'm like, I have no idea. So now I'm on the side of the road. I'm in handcuffs. They're searching my very small 2-door GTI, and they find a radio. And it was a radio that I had bought for my girlfriend, and they held it in front of me. They're like, did you steal this? I'm like, yeah, I steal radios, and I write in red Sharpie my initials, my last name, and the month and day that I purchased the radio. That makes sense. Yes, that's what I do. I'm a thief that steals people's things and then writes my name on it just in case something like this happens ever again, that I could make this argument. So then the guy called me a smart and then back then I used to keep a very small knife in my pocket. I had a Kershaw Onion, I think it was. And it was a torsion bar 3-inch blade, non-serrated, single edge, little pocket knife. I can open boxes with it. I can open my mail with it. I can trim my cuticles with it. Like it was really just a frivolous little tiny, like a Swiss Army knife. And the guy was still handcuffed, and he's like, what's that in your pocket? And I'm like, what? And I'm like trying to reach for it, but like I'm handcuffed. So he's like, don't reach for it. I'm like, well, I can't actually get to it. And he pulls it out and he opens it and he's like, this is a gravity knife. And I'm like, sir, there's no gravity involved. It's actually a torsion beam. And then he yelled at me. He's like, do you want me to get the book? And I was like, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. Confiscated my knife, unhandcuffed me, and then literally gave me, I think, 8 tickets that day. Got me for everything possible. It was speeding, careless, reckless, improper equipment, which is bullshit. He wrote that my exhaust was too loud. He wrote no front tag and window tint. And I'm like, seriously? Like, okay, well, I was 24 years old. Up until that point, when I was 24, my license had just finally cleared up. I had 1 point on my driver's license. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. Car insurance dropped. Everything was fantastic. And then this one ticket just put me over. And it was during a time where New Jersey had just passed some statute where it was an unsafe driving clause. And you could use that, and it was a no points, slightly higher fine, statute that you could just use to get out of tickets or get things, knocked down to. In that year, they passed it where if you had more than 2 of those statutes used, you would get hit with a 5-point penalty on your driver's license. My lawyer and I at the point didn't know that the old times that we used it were grandfathered in, we assumed. So for that, we got the careless thrown out. We got the reckless knocked down to a careless. Bottom line, that ticket cost me, I think, 16 points or something. It was something crazy. So then, of course, I lost my license again for 7 months and a week. So I ended up taking 3 suspensions in a row. And to top it all off, my insurance had gone from, it dropped to, I think, $1,500 a year for 3 cars under my policy to $22,000 per year for 2 cars under my policy. Good times. Really, really good times. And no more of that.
The story of your dream car starts with finding it, and the best way to do that is with Autotempest.com. Autotempest allows you to compare the results from Craigslist nationally with all the top listing sites. So visit Autotempest.com today, and before long, you'll be making some amazing car stories of your very own.